Just been talking to someone who's just come back from Japan. They did the really cheap airline. It was just 300 and something pounds from London to Tokyo, 90-day return, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So these cheap airlines are a bit hard to find. You won't find them with Skyscanner and like cheap flights. You could, all these other ones. I can help you if you're having trouble finding the budget airlines going to Japan for about £300. I can help you. It's hard to find, but you can. Or you can use AI. You can find them. It takes a bit of time, and it's only so you got to go the unpopular dates. You've got to go the dates where it's not so busy, and you can get very, very cheap budget flight to and from Japan. However much time you've got, if you can get time off work or time off whatever it is. This guy took 3 months off because you can get a 90-day visa. It's like automatic, very easy to go to Japan. If you want longer than 90 days, I recommend you go for the J-Find visa. It is entirely possible to get the J-Find visa. You need to have qualified from one of the top 100 universities in the last 5 years. And the way to get around this requirement is you can download a degree from one of those universities, from the degree mill. It's a stupid system. I think it's absurd, but you can do this. And you pay, it's like a couple £100, I think, and you can get this degree in some nonsense subject. It's absolute nonsense, some obscure, and you get the degree and you qualified, and now you can answer, yes, I did, and here's the details. This is university. And you also need to show that you've got a little bit of savings. Because the yen has fallen so much now, the amount of yen you need to show, the equivalent in your currency, is not that much. It's like a couple of £1,000 or dollars or euros, something like that. And then you can get a J-Find visa. It's a 2-year visa. It could be 1 or 2 years, and you could extend it for another 2 years. So you could keep doing that if you wanted to. They say it's easier than getting the retirement visas in other countries. A lot of people go to either Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, or one of these other Southeast Asian countries, or some of the other places in the world where it's cheap living. And it used to be good for years. Loads of guys went to Thailand, and it was you could have a meal for a couple of pounds. Accommodation was so cheap. And now they're all leaving Thailand because the prices have gone up so much. It's not cheap anymore. Cambodia is a bit cheaper than Thailand, but the same sort of thing applies. It's not as good as it used to be. People have been there for years saying, no, it's not cheap anymore. Those days are over. And now they're saying, wow, look at Japan. Japan is so cheap. Someone I spoke to who just came back said it's incredibly cheap. There's this Italian restaurant called Caesarea, and it's such good value. The wine is like less than, I think it's 50p. In pounds, it's 50p for good quality Italian wine and the Italian dishes. Japanese restaurant and if you take someone out to take you out for a meal, come to Caesarea, and you think, wow, this is really good quality. So you must be spending a fortune. And when the bill comes, don't even look at it, just pay it. Yeah, here you go. And it's actually only a couple of pounds, It's so cheap. It's literally a couple of pounds total for your couple of meals, all your wine, dessert, if you want all that. It's so incredibly cheap because the yen has gone down so much. Look up Caesarea, look at the menu. How much does that cost in pounds? Like 100 yen for good quality wine. That's like 30, 40p. And I think soon it'll be like 20p because the yen is falling. There's no doubt about it in my mind. The next few years, the yen will continue to fall at the same rate that it is falling. It will continue, which makes Japan way cheaper than Thailand, way cheaper than Cambodia. In the past, you had like a couple of options. You could go say somewhere like Cambodia, Philippines, something like that. Very cheap living. The pound goes a long way. But you haven't got the high quality, how can I put this? But you know what I'm talking about. The really high quality infrastructure. Because it's not quite a developed nation. But it's still nice. It's beautiful over those countries. But you haven't got the really wonderful, the things that rich nations have got, You haven't got the good infrastructure that rich nations have got. So Japan was a rich nation. And it was like, you've got all the advantages of a rich nation. The nice shopping centres, nice cars, nice quality everything. Good services, clean toilets. You've got all the good hospital, good healthcare, good services. You feel safe. Everything like that is good. But it used to be very expensive. I mean, to go to Japan was very expensive compared to Cambodia, Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand. Now things have changed. It's such a significant change now. The yen has fallen so much. You've got the advantages of the high quality, rich country that Japan is still. And you've got the advantages of the currency depreciating so much. So this is why Japan is such a good option. Accommodation is cheaper than Cambodia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and these other similar countries. In fact, accommodation is free. You can get a house for free. And it's not an exaggeration. You can get a house for free. And this chap I spoke to did it. He's got a couple. You are in effect squatting. Yes, you are squatting. Kiki, this way. Kiki, come on. Good girl. And squatting is okay. There's a million new empty properties added to supply every year, roughly. That's a rough estimate. Population is falling by 1 million people every year. And they're building new homes every year. For some reason, Japanese people like to build new homes when there's all these millions. There's already tens of millions of empty homes, Akiya, abandoned homes. The vast majority of them just need a lot of work done to them. I know that. But a lot of them don't. A lot of them are ready to move in straight away with minimal work. You can live there. You can move in. You know, it's not as simple as I might make it sound. You have to check land registry, check that it is abandoned. How it works is I show people around Akiya. There's loads of homes to choose from. All these empty homes. Some of them have been empty for a while. Some of them only recently been empty. Some of them you're not sure are they empty or are they holiday home? Will somebody be coming back there? You're not sure. So we have to do the checks. Now I drive round with the client. You can, if you'd like to hire my services, I can come to Japan with you, show you a load of Ikea. You choose one. I like the look of this one. You take into account things like tsunamis, earthquakes, mudslides. Now, if it's on up a mountain, take into account mudslides. But if it's on a nice, flat, strong area, it's rock and it's... No, I think this is pretty safe. This is a nice area. I like these houses here. Let's look at them all. Let's look at this one first. And you look at this house. This is nice. Look, the bathroom, kitchen, it's all ready to go. There's furniture in here. I can get the address from the front. I can do a check. You need to speak Japanese, or you need someone who speaks Japanese to do a land registry check. And what I will be able to find out is who the official owner is on land registry. And you get a name of a Japanese person, right? Okay, say, hey, Kiki, let's go this way. Come on, Kiki, this way. Good girl. Kiki is a big dog. Come on. This way, Kiki, come on. Say his name's Mr. Takashi, Mr. whatever it is, Mr. Yamahada or something like that. So you get, good girl, Kiki. I will check I will do a search and find out. And often the case is he was deceased. Recently, he's deceased. Now, that's all you need to know. If the owner on land registry is deceased, as long as it's not in the last couple of months, it has to be over like several months away. Now, if the next of kin was going to inherit this property, they would have done it already. If they haven't, they chose not to inherit it because the inheritance tax is prohibitive and the land tax is prohibitive. Often the older person who died has fallen behind with land tax. And if someone next of kin was going to inherit it, they would have to back pay all that was owed and start paying it now. They often choose not to inherit that. So if nobody inherits it, you know, you've got the next in line, the next in line, next in line, and none of those choose to inherit it. If it's been 6 months, nope, nobody's inherited it. The deceased is still on land registry as the owner. Then that house has been abandoned. You might want to wait more than 6 months, okay? Maybe even if it's several months, a year or so. But if I found a place and the person on land registry as the owner has deceased for more than a year, it's pretty safe to say nobody has chosen to inherit it. They chose not to inherit it. So that is abandoned. What's required then? There are other companies who say you can ask to buy it and all that and you can get a very cheap price for it. No, don't do that. Then you'll have to pay land tax and you'll have all the requirements. You can just move in. There's a lot of things to consider. You have to be sure it's abandoned. You do not want to do this if an owner's going to come and say, oh no, the paperwork's still going through. I was going to put my name on land registry. But you can say, well, look, I found out on land registry the official owner is deceased and no one else is. It might take a bit of time, but once you're sure it's abandoned, you can move in. What is required? You've got to get access to it. You can use lock picking techniques. Usually it's all locked up. Sometimes I found a way in, but usually I use my credit card, or I use a big bit of plastic we got experience, me and my son, lock picking and getting in. You get access. Now, often I found keys inside, which is amazing. When somebody died, the authorities remove the body. They don't often do much in there. Or maybe a loved one, the one next to kin, goes round and has a look, is there anything they want to keep? And they take anything valuable, anything family important to them, they will take it. And then they just shut the door. And they sometimes put the keys for the letterbox, or they if it's a family member, they might take one set of keys. But there's often a set of keys inside. If not, or even in the case where you find keys, you might choose to change the locks. It might be safer. Change the locks. Put new locks in. I can do that for you. We've done it a few times. Front and back door, new locks. Then you get 2 sets of keys. Now you have to tidy it up. I've nearly always found, in fact, every single case, there's cleaning equipment in there. Brush, mop, bucket. You get some good disinfectant and you clean the place from top to bottom, which then includes throwing things away. I say start at the top, start cleaning and disinfect everywhere. And big piles of rubbish. You'll have lots and lots of rubbish. Look for it. Some of it's good stuff. Don't be in a hurry to throw furniture away. If there's good furniture in every room, just clean it. Empty everything out. Clean it. Disinfect it. Leave it there. You know, unless you really don't like it, get rid of it. But I leave most of the furniture there. Tidy up. You can end up with a lot of rubbish. We bury that or burn it. If it is able to be burned without harming the environment, wooden things and burning, yeah, burn it. If you can't burn it, we bury it. Dig a big hole. It's a good day's work. Lovely, pleasant, hard day's work. Digging a massive hole. Bury all that. Now you've got a nice, clean, empty home. Once you've got a lovely, new, clean, empty home, just furnish everything that you wanted to keep. I mean, you've probably got all kinds of futons, blankets, bedding. Everything in the kitchen is all fully, you've got all utensils. The deceased person, or the last person there, for years built up all their things. That's their whole life. You've got everything you need. I say throw a lot of it away. Try and be minimalist as possible. Don't be a hoarder. But it's like an Airbnb that's fully serviced accommodation. It's all there ready to go. Now you can go ahead and live there. The area I'm talking about, there's a lot of us guys in doing that now. The area I'm talking about is Atami, but it's not really low down Atami, which is the main touristy place, seaside resort. We're talking about up in the mountain. It's only 20 minutes from the town. It's 20-minute drive. Now there's loads of us doing that. And there are some local old people there. Most of them are quite nice. You might find someone who doesn't like Gaijin, but I'm just being overly pessimistic then. Most people, they like Gaijin. The ones we've found, as long as you're a help to the area and you're being nice and you're helping them, they don't mind. They say this house would have gone, the house you've occupied and cleaned up would have gone to waste. It would have gone to wreck and ruin in no time. It would have been completely gone to waste. Like say in several years' time, you can have all grass growing through it and it'll be too far gone to repair and clean up. So you're doing a good thing for Japan. You're saving this property, and that's the way you want to frame it in your mind. You're saving this property from going to wreck and ruin. You're cleaning up, you're maintaining it, you're rescuing it, you're liberating it from going to waste, and you're keeping it clean. Now, people often ask me, what do I do about the bills? Well, you don't pay any land tax because you're squatting. You are squatting, and the law is if you squatted there for 10 years, you can claim it as your own if you want to. I say don't do that because then you'll have to start paying land tax. But you've got that option. And if anyone asks, this is what I'm doing. I'm making provision of this law. I am squatting, and after 10 years, I'm going to claim it as my own. That's what you tell people, locals or anybody, authorities. But I'd say you've got that option to think about. In 10 years, you might want to claim it as your own, put your name on land registry, and then you will have to start paying land tax. Who knows what the world will be like in 10 years' time. But that's your plan A. That's what you tell the authorities, the people. But I would say do not. If you've lived there for 10 years, why rock the boat? Why go and put your name on land registry and claim it as your own? I'd say just carry on living there for the next 10 years, next 10 years, next 10 years. If Don't rock the boat. Are you going to get any problems from authorities, from neighbours, from anyone at all? You put that as your address. And they say, oh, that's your address, is it? And like, yeah, no one's really had any problems as far as I know. That is your address. You live there. And every time you come to Japan, you go back there. I say don't get electricity turned on, because that is actually quite expensive. I mean, electricity bills aren't too bad once you turn on, but getting it all set up again, the owner deceased, the electric company turned it all off. I think don't bother turning that back on. What most of us do. My friend Andy, who's been doing this for a long time, he's got quite a few solar panels on him. I think he's got 4 kilowatts of solar panels. Now, these are not permanent solar panels that you have professionally fitted. These are temporary fold-out solar panels. And you buy them in a big flat pack thing. They fold out. And you can usually in the skylight or get up on the roof there, fold them all out. You have to fix them in place and make sure they're okay in strong wind. And you have the wire coming down in through. You have to drill a hole somewhere, have a wire coming down in. And then that goes to the first battery pack. And I'd say I have several battery packs. If you can get these solid state battery packs that are coming soon, not available yet, but soon they will be. Incredible power density for the size and weight. And you have one in the kitchen, one in the living room, one upstairs. And that is all your electricity needs. You're off grid. The solar panels will charge them up. If you're using a lot of electricity and the solar panels aren't enough, increase the amount of solar panels, or take one of the battery packs with you when you go into town and charge up. Sit at a coffee shop, cafe, convenience store, or go to a restaurant somewhere like that. Even there's loads of different places where you can just plug it in, sit there for a couple of hours, have a drink. You can charge up your battery pack, go and take it home. It's a very interesting thing to do. You can do that. Also, if you want to have an electric car, I like the Nissan Sakura with a solar panel. Really nice electric car. It's a fold-out solar panel. It's always charging. Even when you're driving, there's half a solar panel. When you stop, you press a button and it goes to twice the size. That's charging, and that's got vehicle to load it. You could park that outside with the solar panels out, and you can have a lead coming off the car into your house, charging up your battery packs in your kitchen. So that's an option if you want to be off-grid. I say do not connect to electricity. There's gas bottles. Everyone uses that in Japan. Big gas bottles, very, very cheap to refill. The cheapest option is if you put them in your vehicle yourself and bring them to refill them yourself. It's cheap. It's like less than £10. It's like for £5 for small and £10 for the one twice the size. And that will last you all winter. Very cheap. That's for heating water, having a bath, shower, cooking, washing, and for heating your home. The gas heats your home, but there is also a wood stove in most of these places. A nice wood stove is great, and there's usually a load of chopped wood out there anyway, but you could add to that, and that's a very pleasant thing. Go into the trees, chopping or getting wood back, chopping up for your wood stove. That is brilliant. But we use gas for cooking mostly rather than electric, because you still want to be economic with your electric if you're just using solar panels and battery banks. All the lights, these good LED lights these days, have been massive advancements for those. Very good LED lights in every room. You wire them up all around the room with a switch by the door, just near where the old light switch was. You won't be using that one. The old electricity won't be on. So none of the plug sockets will work in house. You use your battery banks as the plug sockets. And you can have a little remote control, change the lighting, change the mood. They're brilliant. These LED lights with little batteries. You don't need to be connected to electricity. You use solar panels, battery banks, and you use gas bottles for heating, cooking. And I think for internet, you can have a virtual SIM card these days. You can get good internet coverage. Or you could use Starlink if you wanted to, something like that, for good internet. And water is usually always free. It's nearly most of these places, they've got, all the plumbing has been done. They got water from the mountain. It's usually spring water, good water for free. Sometimes you can even find onsen water. It's worth a lot, mind, if you've got that. And everybody wants that. It's going to be hard to find, but the volcano heats the water. They found the hot spring water is piped to the house, and you've got two taps. You've got the cold spring water from the mountain, and you've got the hot water on demand all the time. And often there's beautiful onsens built. We found this one place, needed a little bit of work because the onsen hadn't been used for years. It was an abandoned house with a really beautiful, like hotel, like hot spring onsen downstairs there. lovely rock formation onsen. I think that is so beautiful, really well made. It just needed cleaning up. The guy took all the boxes out, cleaned it all up, got it all working again, cleaned it out, filled it up again with hot water, and I thought, this is like an amazing hotel spa. He did really well with that. He rescued the whole property from going to waste by cleaning it up, getting it working again. You can too. You can do that. You can get a free house in Japan. I can help you. Now, a lot of people say, I'm not ready to retire to Japan or to move to Japan permanently. No, you don't have to. If you want a free house in Japan, you can just get a 90-day visa. You might only want to stay 60 days or 30 days. You might want to stay for a short time. I can help you look around homes, start your home off. You know, you've got the keys, you've locked it up. You could make it look lived in. And you've rescued that home now from going derelict, going to waste. And every time you go back to Japan, you might not even ever go back there if you don't want to. But if you want to, you've got the option. You've got a bug out location. You've got your home in Japan. If you do it in a Tami where we're building a community, others will look after it for you. We'll all look after each other's properties when we're not there. We booked a flight to Japan now very soon. But £300 is not much. You can go back and forth as often as you like. You might go back just for a short time if you're still working and things in the UK or in the West. But ideally, take a grey gap year. This applies to any of us older ones. Don't have to be young people. Teenagers or in your 20s to take a gap year. Anybody can take a gap year or two to do something exciting, adventure. And it's an amazing adventure. If you wanted to spend a couple of years, you might be single, you might be a couple, you might have family, you know. You might be a couple of friends together. That's often good. A couple of friends together. I want to go and save an abandoned home from going to waste. You need some kind of an income. So yeah, if you're a digital nomad, if you've got some kind of an income of some kind of savings. It used to be, when I lived in Japan, the yen was quite strong. And I was teaching English in yen. And it was very good from the point of view of pounds. I could earn a lot of pounds because the yen was strong. Now the yen is so weak. It's not worth having an income in yen anymore. You want an income in another currency. So try and, if you can do some kind of digital nomad work, and there's loads of options for this, you know, find something where you've got an income in another currency that will go really far in yen. Now, if you would like to have a consultation with me, I'm sure if you're interested in this, you'll have lots of questions, lots of things you're not sure about. I can definitely help you. This is what I do, me and my son. I think my son will be taking over my business soon, but he's very good at getting access to these places, finding a nice home. So there's two options. First of all, have some consultations with us, and that might be enough for you to start off your adventure in Japan. If you want to, you can pay for us to fly over with you, and we've done this, and we will help you looking at IKEA. You choose one of them that you like. I love this one. And yep, let's do it. We'll check land registry. The previous owner has deceased. No one's chose to inherit it. It is abandoned. You start squatting here. Start your 10 years off. And you've started off the 10 years, you know, for all intents and purposes, you're going to be trying to claim it as your own in 10 years' time. But you decide when 10 years comes about, you've not had any problems, you've occupied it, or you know, you've had the option of occupying it for 10 years. Why rock the boat? Why not do another 10 years? It's up to you. But you can start doing that. Book a consultation with me. I would love to help you. I love talking about this stuff, and I love helping people. You know, it's not too good to be true. A free house in Japan, an amazing free house in Japan. Yes, it is true. I can help you. Give me a call. Give me an email. It's in the description.